Welcome back to the Simplified Organization Show, where real moms chat about real life and managing all that there is to do and prioritizing people while we do it. We want to banish overwhelm, fulfill our responsibilities, and stay cheerful while we do it because it is good work that God has called us to do, and it is work that matters. I'm your host, Misty Winkler, second generation homeschooling mom of 5. I write and podcast at simplyconvivial.com about homeschooling, homemaking, and doing life cheerfully. I'm also the author of the book, The Convivial Homeschool, Gospel Encouragement for Keeping Your Sanity While Living and Learning Alongside Your Kids. And today we have part 2 of my conversation with Durenda Wilson. Durenda has been homeschooling since 1996 and has graduated 7 of her 8 children so far. She's been married to her husband for 32 years, and they also have 9 grandkids. Durenda is convinced that home education is an incredible blessing, but only if we don't let it hold us hostage to unnecessary expectations and notions of what it should look like. The heart of her message encourages parents to create a simple, unhurried lifestyle while growing a strong, cohesive family. Durenda's newest book, The 4-Hour School Day, was released last summer, and she's also the author of The Unhurried Homeschooler and Unhurried Grace for a Mom's Heart. You can find Durenda and her podcast at durendawilson.com, and she also mentors moms at simplyunhurriedcommunity.com. Stay tuned to the end to learn how you can win a copy of Durenda's latest book as well. Now, let's dig into part 2 of this conversation. So you touched earlier on peace from simplifying and, taking that step back and getting perspective. And so, one thing I think I've noticed in magazines or homemaking kind of things is that the peace and calm, we want peace and calm in our homes. And it seems like so many women are trying to get it through decorating styles.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Yeah, rather than from the heart. So what would you say to the mom is like looking for that peace and wanting to figure out how to have a home that's full of peace and a heart that's full of peace?
hmm Well, I think it's going to be just what you said. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the Lord with it. I don't like chaos in my house. I don't like a lot of piles of things, and I knew that about myself. And as I prayed about it, the Lord kind of showed me to have at minimum, 3 different pickup times throughout the day that were part of our routine.
Yeah.
So, in the morning after breakfast, sometimes things can already have gotten into upheaval. And so we do a quick little tidy. And then lunchtime, or right after lunch, somewhere in there, another one. And then late in the day, we do another one. And that really helped a lot. And it was just such a simple thing to do, but it took self-discipline. It took self-control. It took consistency. But that was a blessing. It was a simple thing, but it was a huge blessing. And that helped me be more at peace. That's, of course, not the only thing that's going to, but God knows us. He knows us inside and out, and He knows what we need. And He knows where we need to be challenged, because there's certain points at which you have to say, okay, even though I like this, it can't be like this right now. And you can have peace in the midst of that. But it's Him who gives us the peace. He's the one who gives, because it's about peace of soul, and you're not going to find that by organizing yourself to death. It can actually go the other direction. But I get the whole minimal thing. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the minimal amount of decorations and visual noise, because there is so much visual noise now between our phones and just when we're out and about. And I do believe that God wants us to have a peaceful home, but it starts with Him, and it starts with laying these things at His feet, and then just walking out what He calls you to do.
Mm-hmm. I found when we built in the regular times of tidying things up, part of the piece was, of course, in having the home regularly picked up, but also in the times in between those pickup times, to recognize it's okay that there's a mess out right now, because this is the time where we're doing things.
Right.
And messes are going to happen, and there will come a time where we're going to tidy it up. And so I can even be at peace right now that this mess is happening, because this mess is actually supposed to be like, this is actually this is life being lived.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And it's a sign that there's life and things going on in your family. But you're right. When you have those regular times, oh, there will be an end to it. If there's no end to it, that's when it gets overwhelming and, just too much. So, and you're right. It can actually help us be a better mom. It can help us, so the Lord can use those things most definitely to help us. It's just that getting that wisdom from him and then being consistent and doing it, those are the two things that I think are huge. All right, so the tip that I would actually like to share is it's kind of an attitude mindset, and it is thinking in terms of building margin into your day.
Mm.
So when you're planning, like our pre-breakfast chores, I may make sure that there's extra time in there for discipline issues, for, a kid who didn't actually do what he was supposed to do. So now I have to make sure that he does it. Those things are so helpful. Okay, if we look at mealtime and we're like, okay, mealtime should take 15 minutes. Well, give yourself 25 or 30 for conversation, for the glass of spilt milk, for things like that. So I would just say build margin into your day. And also remember, we were going back to the activities we talked about at the beginning, that more isn't necessarily better. Sometimes it's just more. And we don't need more. And I don't know. I know for me, a lot of times it can start with turning off my phone. Like
Mm.
the notifications, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones. I had an answering machine though, and a phone. So I would turn my phone off and I would turn my answering machine down. So I didn't know if I got a phone call. I didn't know. And now we do this on a much bigger scale with our phones, So dial in on what you need to do to help you stay focused and be able to have that margin in your day that you really need to have.
Mm. Yeah, I know. I've putting together schedules or different things and thinking, okay, if everyone just always does what they're supposed to do, then this works.
Right.
If it only works if everyone's always doing exactly what they ought to be doing, it's just not going to work.
That's exactly right. And hence the margin. It gives you the time, because what are we doing? Like we're not here to just have a well-oiled machine in our home. That's not our purpose. Our purpose is to raise godly children. And that's messy sometimes, and that takes time. Discipleship, is rooted in relationships, and relationships take time. And so we need to give ourselves that time. And it's when you do that, it's so amazing the opportunities that God gives you for conversation with your kids, a chance to see something that you wouldn't have seen otherwise had you not been taken the time to observe, taken the time to have the margin in your day to observe. Also, remember to enjoy your kids, especially those of you with a lot of littles. Enjoy your kids when they're all happy. A lot of times when they're all happy, we're trying to get something done. Take 5 minutes. I used to do this. I would lay on the floor. The little ones love this, and just let them crawl all over me. They'd play with my hair. Just having mom completely accessible was so exciting to them for some reason. Probably because most of the time I was doing things. And so it was just really sweet. And I would just like close my eyes and just enjoy, the feeling of their little hands, and noticing which one's playing with the hair and which one's, in the armpit or whatever, and just kind of make mental notes of just, I don't know, just them and their personalities and that kind of thing. And that was just a lot of fun.
Well, thank you so much, Durenda. Now I know you have something to share with us also. So, where
Sounds
can
good.
people find you and what do you have today?
Okay, well, you can find me at durendawilson.com, and my podcast is there, but it's also on Apple and Spotify and all that. It's just the Durenda Wilson podcast. I have over, I don't know, 300 and something episodes. Lots of good stuff there. Lots of encouragement. And then I want to give away one of my books. I'm going to give away the 4 Hour School Day. So to whoever wins the book, I'll send a hard copy to you so that you can enjoy that and be encouraged by it.
So, we'll pick a winner of that book from the comments in the YouTube channel for this first week after the episode releases. Leave a comment with your story about leaving margin or your tip for peace or margin in your day, and we'll pick a winner for Dorinda to send that book to you. So thank you so much, Dorinda.
Thank
And
you for having me. It was a
yeah,
lot of
I'll
fun.
share those links also in the description below. So, all
Sounds good.
right.